Seconds out, delighted to be joined by Chris Eubank Jr. out in the States, in Miami, working alongside the legendary Roy Jones Jr., another junior, someone
Hi.
to aspire to. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm actually in, Roy's gym is in Pensacola, Florida. I'm actually in Miami now, just on a 10-day break. I've had intense training for the last 3.5 months, so it's kind of been like a camp, you know. So I've peaked, and now I just feel like I need to take a little break, come and chill and relax on the beach, and I'm here for 10 days, and then I'll go back on the July 5th.
Back to Pensacola?
Yes, back to
awesome.
Pensacola to start training again.
So how did the link between yourself and Roy Jones Jr. come about?
So basically, I was at a fight show in Las Vegas about in February, I think. No, February, March, about 3 or 4 months ago. And I met Roy. He was actually doing the corner for one of my friends, Kevin Newman, who was a pro super middleweight. And I went backstage just to say good luck to Kevin and that. And Roy was there, getting him ready. Didn't really get to say anything to him because obviously he's preparing his fighter. But afterwards, back in the changing room, went back there again and got a chance to sit down with him, just talk to him for 5 minutes. And it was amazing to meet a man I've monitored and studied for years. Growing up in the sport of boxing, he was one of the greats. He is one of the greats, and I always used to watch how he fought and try and copy things and yeah. So we took a picture and we shook hands and that was kind of it. And then a week later, I'm finding myself in a situation where coronavirus hits Vegas and everything's shutting down. And gyms are closed. All the events that I had set up were cancelled, and I'm sitting there in my hotel and thinking, like, what do I do? Do I just sit in my hotel room until this blows over? Do I go back home to England to be with my friends and family? And then I remembered, hold on, Roy said he has a gym in Pensacola on his farm. It's private. I wonder if that's going to continue to be open. So I told my dad to hit him up and see if it was possible for me to come and train with him. And turned out he was happy. He was happy to come down. And then I got on a flight the next day, and I was there for 3.5 months. I've only just got to Miami a couple of days ago. Yeah, training very hard, learning a lot, and I think me and Roy are going to be partners in crime now for the remainder of my career.
That's awesome. Did you stay with him at the farm as well as training there?
Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time down there every day, but I've got Airbnbs and stuff like that also as well, just because other people sometimes are on the farm and that, but most of my time is spent on the farm. To be honest, there's not much going on in Pensacola, especially with COVID-19 closing everything down. The beaches did actually open up a month or two ago, which is it's very surprising because they were packed with thousands of people and no one's wearing masks, but people just don't really seem to be bothered out here. There was no official lockdown. You could always kind of just leave your house and go about your business. They just closed down restaurants and bars and clubs. Definitely was a lot more relaxed than how it was over in England where you guys are. So I had it pretty good, to be honest, being able to train every day and still kind of function. But I didn't know anybody out there, so I just, it was just the gym and at home. But that's what I needed. That's what I needed to really focus on what Roy is and has been teaching me.
In the first few days and weeks of this burgeoning relationship, What was the feedback you were getting from Roy? What was he looking at in your game that impressed him, and where did he feel you needed to improve?
Well, one thing that I remember Roy saying is that he knows I got a lot of heart. He knows that I've got a lot of balls, and he said that's my go-to. He says in a fight, you know, that's the heart's there from round one. I'm going in there and I'm ready to destroy. He's saying that as a boxer, obviously that is a very important thing to have, and a lot of fighters don't have it. But it isn't the first thing you should go into a fight using. You know, you use that heart and that grit and determination when you really need it. You know, but if you can actually get through a fight without having to go and dig into those trenches and really, you know, bite down and get down and dirty with it, if you can just box and relax and finesse, then that's what you should do. And he said that's what he did. You know, he would only really you know, get down and dirty and gritty with it if he had to. And a lot of the times he didn't. He could just box and take these guys out with skill. So I guess that's one thing that he's kind of been instilling in me and teaching me, is that it's not all about trying to war all the time. Sometimes you've got to be a bit more subtle. You've got to set things up, you know. He's a very, very smart man, and I'm learning a lot.
You had arguably a career best victory over James DeGale last year, but then it was almost 9 months before we saw you back in the ring. That fight against Matt Korobov ended very early in the second round through no fault of anyone's, really. And then COVID-19 hit at the start of this year. Has it been frustrating at times? Because coming off the DeGale win, you had real momentum, and it's kind of been paused.
Yeah, it really has been frustrating, but you know, what can you do? You know, it's an act of God. This pandemic, and everyone's in the same boat. The fight with Korobov, that was an act of God. You know, nobody could have predicted that. You know, the guy has to stop fighting after 2 rounds. Boxing is an extremely unpredictable sport. Life is extremely unpredictable. You just got to prepare yourself as best you can. Did I want to be more active over the last year and a half? Absolutely. You know, I want to be fighting 3 times a year, but sometimes you just, you know, things don't happen that way. I fought twice last year, and one of those wasn't really a fight. So, you know, God willing, we can, you know, once everything gets back to normal with the COVID-19, once that kind of dies down, they can just get me active. You know, I've told my promoters, manager, that, you know, get me on a bill with no crowd if you have to. You know, I don't mind having a small fight, just to tick over. You know, I just want to be in the ring. You know, obviously I am gunning for these big fights with these big names, but if that's not possible in this moment in time, then, you know, put me on a smaller show. You know, I just want to fight.